Welcome to episode 9 of my project Spandau 1963, and today I'll be showing highlights of scratch building a cinema in Spandau. The Forum Cinema was built in the mid-1950s but closed in the early 70s. This is what my interpretation of the cinema looks like. The frontage was only 1 story high because the cinema faced the St. Nicholas Church on the other side of the street and had to remain unobtrusive and discreet. There was a glazier's shop called Bilder Helbig to the right, which I've reproduced as best I could. It's a family company that still exists today. There was also a market stand nestled between Bilder Helbig and the large townhouse on the right. The basic cinema frontage you see is entirely made with the building blocks mod. All the mods I mention are listed in the text below. The biggest challenge was the curved concrete roof. The menu of the building blocks mod allows for fine adjustment of the X, Y and Z axes, after which I had to rotate the asset in Transport Fever itself. The necessary keys to do this depend on the language of your keyboard. This is the finished roof in place. I believe the walls of the original cinema were red brick, but I chose grey brick instead, as I felt this better represents the era of the late 50s, early 60s. The tram track on the right was no longer in use because the northern Carl Short Street had become a one-way street by the 1960s. Now, cinemas need film posters to attract cinema goers, and I used the UK Posters mod to create the display cabinets along the angled walls. A bit fiddly, but worth the effort to get them properly aligned. Thereafter I used the windows from the Windows mod to represent the glass windows. The ticket office was a simple rectangular block, and I built it with correctly sized walls using the building blocks mod prior to placing the windows. I could not have done without the sign writer mod allowing me to name the Hotel Zum Stern and to place the Schultheiss beer lettering above the right hand door. I also used this mod for the Forum letters on the cinema's curved roof. As previously mentioned, there were no huge posters or film names displayed because the cinema faced the church over the street. Now, with the cinema frontage complete, I chose an era B vanilla industrial building that had 4 windows. By the way, I also used the no smoke mod to suppress the chimney smoke on most buildings. But the original cinema building didn't have chimneys, so I used a building block to hide them. And here are a couple of photos of the original Forum cinema which show those 4 windows. And I used a simple rectangular block to represent the theatre part of the cinema. I also added double doors either side of the ticket office so that my Sims can go in and watch a film. Using the random person asset mod, I was able to place a queue of people waiting to buy tickets for the Angelique film. This mod allows for multiple variations. Now, the Angelique lettering above the ticket office is discreet, so as not to risk offending the churchgoers. And you have to get pretty close to the posters to see that they're in English rather than German. So, there it is, my interpretation of the Forum Cinema in Spandau. Anyway, a big thank you to the authors of the mods who helped make it possible. And of course, I shall see you next time. So, bye.